Good morning. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Sunday, November 27th. What can I say? Just another ugly, actually, just an ugly week. We just ended the worst trading week in the market since 1932, just to give you perspective of how bad the market was last week, even though volumes were really, really muted. Essentially all the volume was on the sideline, and a few sellers driven by the constant negative headlines from Europe just took us lower and lower and lower and scared all the momentum that we had built over the last several weeks off to the sidelines. Each and every time when it looked like we were ready to run, actually we'll get a better idea if we look at the 15-minute chart. We've just essentially been stair-stepped down with most of the red action in the market coming really in the last 30 minutes of the session and the first 30 minutes of the next session. As you can see here on the 15-minute chart, we've been stuck in this bullish falling wedge now for the last 8-9 days, and each time it looks like we've consolidated at the bottom of the range, we swoop lower, only to do the same thing for a few hours and then yet again swoop lower again. So we had that same thing happen going into the end of the half-day session on Friday, just like we did on Wednesday, late day flush as traders just ran for the hills. And, there's no nice way to spin this. It's all on Europe. We continue to get inaction from the idiots in Europe. And as a result, the Germans sitting back and unwilling to do things. Maybe they will now, because part of the reason for the big sell-off last week, the Germans, of all people, had a failed bond auction. We had Italy have its interest rates spike to 6.5%. We've got Spain getting ready to look for outside help. So maybe now these idiots over there will get their act together. And, we're going to continue to be victim to these morons over here for the rest of the week because we've got some more bond auctions coming up this week. We do have economic data coming out, and so far, at first, the Black Friday sales, if you looked at the headlines are getting spun big time negative, which is typical when you see the market sell off. Even good news is spun negatively. The first headline I saw on Saturday was Black Friday sales a disappointment. And then you actually read the article and it said sales were up 7% to a record high. How the hell is that disappointing when it came in above consensus and is a record high? That's just the negativity we have out there, and a low volume pullback when, and I emphasize when, we bounce, it's going to be a fat bounce because everyone is sitting on the sideline. We've got shorts piled in. We've come down on very, very low volume. So when we do bounce, and hopefully it is this week, it will be vicious to the upside. Now, just looking at the indice charts, you got to stretch to get some confidence. I drew a line here at 11,200 when we gave our downside targets. I thought we'd bounce at the 50-day moving average, but when you get these late-day, low-volume sell-offs, support means nada. So let's see if 11,200 holds up. Looking at the SMH, same exact chart. I mean, the SMH is down $4.50 over the last week. I mean, we've wiped out 7 weeks of gains in 5 days on way lower volume. Russell, exact same thing. We broke down out of that same setup. I mean, we're getting oversold, but until we see some positive spin from Europe, which has been lacking over the last week. You recall throughout that 7-week rally that we had, anytime we had some European crap, we had some sort of rumor the next day or within 2 days that rocketed the market back up. Over the last week or so, it's just been a slow grind lower with a tank late in the day and on the open the next day, and then a slow grind flat line, and then the same scenario. We need that to reverse. We need a nice fat upside move, even if it's only for a couple of days, just to bring some confidence back to traders and, those push some of the shorts to the sidelines, really. But anyway, let's jump into some stock plays. Granted, we're going to look at a lot of charts that have the same setup as the market. TRID, monster rally a week ago. We've given up all that rally on way lower volume, but, we've got some positive signs. I continue to accumulate this stock. It's trading at cash value, tech stock, CES play in January. Positive MACD cross. Hopefully tomorrow each and every positive MACD cross we've had here. We've had at least a 20% pop in the stock. We've got the 20-day exponential calling us up at the 39-cent level. Stochastics in the basement. This is the kind of stock I think you can load the boat on. Actually, I don't even want to say that. You don't load the boat in this market, but what I mean is this is definitely a stock you can pick some size up on. And, you know, a move to 30 cents is a 50% move. Nothing to shake your stick at in this kind of market. Serious. Nice breakout early in the week and then slammed with the market on Wednesday. We saw some stabilization on Friday. Again, we were looking for that breakout. Target still remains 220 on this one. If you did get stopped out, you know, I can understand it in this market. I decided to hold and press my bet and add it to my positions. And I'll probably give this one a little bit more room. Every time I've stopped out of this stock before, it's romped after I stopped out. So I'm going to give this one a little bit more open. Like I said in the chat room on Wednesday and on Friday, I was inclined to hold both of those down red days. You know, it was painful in the portfolio, but I'm not. My view was I'm going to continue to hold the strategy we've been playing, and I'll look at the market this week now that we've got this holiday nonsense behind us. ANX, you know, the same sort of thing. 2 days in a row, we had a gap down open on no volume. If you tried to buy, the bid went back to 61 cents. You know, again, loaded with cash right now, and I'm starting to take the mindset of I'm looking towards a Santa rally / January pop. So stocks I really like this one on TRID, I'm inclined to accumulate them on dips now. This is usually the strategy we adopt this time of the year going into January. So that is what I'm looking at doing over the next month or so. And again, this one loaded with cash, the right news, and you know it's trading right back up at its 50-day moving average. BWEN monster mover for us last week. Market over the last couple of days sort of hindered it, but you can see we continue to stair step higher, and that is exactly the kind of chart. Reminds me of MCZ this time last year when it ran from 40 cents to $2.40. Same sort of thing. Up on big volume, down on low volume. Green market, next stop, 87 cents here. CYTR, we finally found support at that 34-cent area of a month ago. Remember, December 11th is the big day here. Back to accumulation mode on this one. Another quick mention, TELK, another biotech play. 30 cents breakout is what we're waiting for here. Zone, again, another breakout watch play. We need a break of that 50-day, you know, $1.03 will let this one go. And this setup right here, this is what we look for on January popper play. So this is a strong January popper candidate. And RSI, again, trying to break the 50 level. I do like that Stochastics held and bounced at the 50 level. So let's see if we get some follow through on this chart this week. Another couple of mentions, ENER, lots of cash. Alternative energy play, had a big run a week ago, down on really low volume again. These are the kind of plays we get some nice greenage on the market, and these will give very quick and fast bounces and big bounces. You know, we've got this is a stock that loves bouncing back to its 20-day exponential. As you can see, that right now is at 38 cents. Stock is at 30. You know, that's almost a 25% move with probably happen on very low volume. HTM, again, this one has also stabilized at the 45-cent level. Again, these are just stocks that have been waiting for bounce backs, and if we get the momentum back in the penny stocks, which we tend to do this time of year, these are the kind of plays that do very well. Again, we've got lots of nice setup plays. We'll take a look at how the market acts this week, but we've got the Black Friday retail sales are up, which is what we said to expect for this year. So hopefully that will start to create a positive feel in the business headlines, and maybe we'll get some action from the idiots in Europe over the next couple of days, or a successful bond auction or some sort of rumor just to bring buyers back into this market. So, you know, the indice charts don't look that great, but if we get a nice little rebound, then, you know, all will be well. So that's it for the video. Any questions, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you all in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.